Okay, we'll start with this. After forcing yet another stoppage this past weekend as part of a Matchroom show, unbeaten up-and-comer Tia May Ayton wants Ebony Bridges next. After capturing the Commonwealth Featherweight title this past Saturday, Tia May Ayton wasted no time calling out former world champion Ebony Bridges. "I want to fight Ebony Bridges. She's had a lot to say, and I didn't like it." Bridges quickly responded, denying she had ever mentioned Tia May Ayton's name, but left the door open to the fight. "Money talks, babe." She continued, "Ha ha 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 ha, weird. She's making things up. Clout chasing now. I've never even mentioned her name, or is she getting upset because I'm cheering on my mate ringside at a fight? Bless her heart. She's doing great. Money talks, babe. So get Eddie Hearn to pay, and I'll happily jump in and give you a name on your record." On this much I agree. I've never seen Ebony Bridges say a word, good or bad, about Tia May Ayton. I've never seen Ebony take shots at her. I've never seen Ebony even mention her. Why would she? They're in very different stages of their careers. But does that mean that Tia May Ayton is clout chasing? Does Ebony Bridges in 2026 have any clout that somebody should chase her for it? You hear people say that a lot in the modern era of boxing. Well, this person is clout chasing me. That person is clout chasing me. What fucking clout? I think there's a difference between pursuing a fight with somebody and clout chasing. For me, clout chasing is more along the lines of talking about someone you have no intention of fighting, but you still bring them up for the clout, for the press, for the publicity, so that the journos have something to write about as you are trying to siphon notoriety from someone without actually fighting. For me, that's clout chasing. Like what the Schofields did with Shakur Stevenson. They said they wanted to fight and they ended up getting it just to end up pulling out. Because you didn't really want to fight. What you wanted to do was clout chase. Whereas pursuing an actual fight with someone, how is that clout chasing when that's the name of the game? That's the job. Ebony Bridges continued, "A lot to say? So odd. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. I've only watched one of her fights, and that's when I was ringside when she fought Stevie Levy. I don't even know what weight she is, haha. But I'm always down to fight if the money is right." Again mentioning money. No offense to Ebony Bridges, but how much money is Eddie Hearn supposed to kick out for a 39-year-old fighter that lost 2 of her last 3 fights and only got back in the winner's bracket by scraping the very bottom of the barrel in Ebony Cotton? What is he supposed to pay her? This is where Ebony Bridges making any mention of clout and clout chasing has got to be comedy. It's comical. She's not as popular now as she once used to be because in recent years she wasn't that active, and when she did fight, she lost. She lost the fight and lost her belt to Miyo Yoshida at the end of 2023. Sat out all of 2024 and 2025, subsequently losing again in her MVP debut at the beginning of 2026. This year, only recently getting back in the winner's bracket by scraping the very bottom of the barrel in Ebony Cotton. So I'm sorry, but in 2026... What clout? Ebony Bridges doesn't have any clout that somebody should be chasing her for it. What she's chasing you for is a fight. Because she's a fighter, and you're still a fighter, right? You do still fight. If she is somehow attaching her name to yours, it's because she wants to fight. Don't you? Not necessarily, no. Not against Tia May Ayton. Maybe against more of the Ebony Cottons of the world and that level of pedestrian competition. I think Ebony Bridges knows enough about Tia. She's playing dumb. Like she doesn't know her or know how to pronounce her name, that she's only ever seen her fight once, but then why are you asking for so much money? Why do you make so much mention of so much money for Tia May Ayton? It's because you already know how much of a risk you'd be taking on in facing her. That I'm sorry. I like Ebony Bridges and I've supported her in the past, but if she fought Tia May Ayton now, Tia would stop her. Tia would be the first to knock her out. Absolutely. And I think she knows that. So for taking a fight like that on at this very late stage in her career at her age, she wants Eddie to break the bank, and I don't think he's going to do that for a 39-year-old Aussie who only won one of her last 3 fights. Not going to break the piggy. Faltering in what was her MVP debut has not left Ebony Bridges with a ton of options. I mean, the last fight that she had with Ebony Cotton, that wasn't even on an MVP show. They didn't pay for that. And what fights they might be willing to pay for? those would be risky fights for Ebony, too. Fights with Sharita Metcalf or Shernika Johnson, Crystal Rosado. Those would be risky fights for Ebony, too. She's getting it from both sides. She's getting it from Tia May Ayton over on the Matchroom side, and I'm pretty sure those girls on MVP, they would like to fight her, too. It's not ageist. It's just reality. There are very few safe options for Ebony at this time, unless she wants to keep scraping the bottom of the barrel. Elsewhere in the world of boxing, you may have heard that Devin Haney's mother, biological mother, passed over the weekend. How, I'm not sure. But that's the word on the street. So that Gervonta Davis could take to his own social media to react to it, and you can imagine what kind of stuff this guy said. He said, "It's crazy how Buddy talked about my mom, only for his mom to check out a few weeks later. Now post that, inshallah." A post that he has since deleted from his Instagram account, saying she's doing the same thing her son did. She went to sleep. When did Devin Haney go to sleep? Nobody ever knocked him out. I'm not even a fan of Devin, but that's just the fact. Nobody ever knocked him out. So let me just say that this is no less than what I expect from Gervonta Davis at this point. He's been this sort of a tactless, classless character for many years now, and his supporters, they're not going to hold him to any sort of a standard. They never do. And they never have. That if you feel that much rancor for Devin Haney, then why didn't you fight him while he was there? And who says the door is closed for that fight? Because I'm pretty sure Devin would be willing to fight you now. Especially after that shit. But alas, Gervonta Davis is a coward. I've been saying it for years. He's the little dog that's barking from behind the fence, because when push comes to shove, he doesn't fight any of these guys. Not Devin, not Shakur, not Tio when he was there, or Vasyl Lomachenko. Not even Tevin Farmer when they were both champions at Super Feather. Not even Tevin Farmer when Tevin was calling him out. And this is well before Gervonta Davis even fought on pay-per-view. Matchroom formulated an offer worth an estimated $8 million for him to fight Tevin Farmer in a unification match, and he wouldn't do it. At that time, Gervonta Davis wasn't making that kind of money. He had never seen a payday that size for one fight before, and he still wouldn't do it. Because he's a fucking coward. He always has been. His supporters, they don't hold him to any kind of a standard. Even in the realm of supporting a professional boxer, you would think at least you want to see him box people. You want to see him fight. Otherwise, what are you supporting him for? In all of organized sports, when you support an athlete, whether it's in the NBA or the WNBA, the MLB, the NHL, the NFL, whether it's an individual player or a team, it's because you want to see them work. You want to see them perform. Whereas with Gervonta, it's backwards. His supporters don't want to see him fight these people. They're always advocating against fights and making excuses for them not to happen. Then postulating about how many of these guys he would beat when it comes to imagination station fights. Fights that only exist in their mind. Oh, he beats all of these guys. Devin, Shakur, Tio. Everybody. Vasyl Lomachenko, Tevin Farmer, Tevin Campbell, Campbell Soup, Tisha Campbell, you name them. Gervonta Davis beats everybody. Except in real life, because he never seems to get around to fighting any of these people, and his supporters, they're okay with that because they care more about protecting his image and his unbeaten record than actually finding out if he's that good. They're afraid they'll find out that he's not. They'd rather spend their time writing this guy love letters for everything about him but who he's fighting and when he's fighting, because we're coming up on 2 years. 2 years out from his last fight with Lamont Roach. That was all the way back there towards the beginning of last year. We now know that he's set to sit out all of this one. And when he returns, if he does return, it'll be next year. So from the Roach fight last year till his next fight next year, that's about 2 years. And you've still got guys who support him, who seem to support him for every other reason but fighting, when he's a fighter. Not a senator. He's not a religious or community leader. Spiritual leader. The only premise to support him in what he's doing is that he's a fighter, except he's not even doing that. He's not fighting. So what are you supporting?
Doing it for the culture.
Doing what for the culture? By now everybody knows that he is a serial domestic abuser. The vast majority of his run-ins with the law are for putting his hands on women, and his supporters are okay with that, like they're okay with this. Him taking shots at Devin Haney when, if you dislike him that much that you're gonna scoff, you're gonna make light of his mother dying, why didn't you fight him?
Why didn't you fight him before? Why don't you fight him now?
You would have thought there was some sort of personal beef between them, some sort of big rift, when it all starts with Devin Haney wanting to fight Gervonta. That's it. That's where it starts. Like every other fighter.
Like it is with everybody else.
But it was never actually personal. Not in the beginning. Gervonta Davis just took it that way because that's how deathly afraid he is of fighting real competition. And I'm no fan of Devin Haney or his style, his method of fighting, but I'm telling you now, if they actually fought, Devin would beat him.
He knows that.
Just like he knows that about Shakur. That's why he gets so upset whenever those names are brought up to him by the media, visibly frustrated.
Keep your unbeaten record. You didn't put no real work in.
It's easy to stay unbeaten when you do that and take 2 years off running from Lamont Roach.
It's easy to stay an unbeaten fighter when you're not fighting. And when you are fighting, you're sticking weight stipulations on guys to handicap them.
When he's not doing that, he's bringing up fighters from lower divisions so he can have a power advantage over them. This guy has always been all smoke and mirrors.
Always.
So when he's barking from behind the fence at Devin Haney, who has since moved on from the lightweight and super lightweight division, it really is just more of the same. And I don't know what they support in Gervonta Davis.
What is there to support?
Latent homosexuality, draping yourself in ugly tattoos to the point you look like the side of some teenager's notebook?
Looks stupid.
What are you supporting? Trash talk? He's talking trash to people he has no intention of fighting?
They say that. He is the A-side fighter to all of these guys. Devin, Shakur, Tio, the lot of them. So then isn't the onus on him to make these fights happen? And when they don't, then isn't the onus on him?
Buddy, his supporters don't even know what onus means.
The responsibility. Because if he's the A-side over all of them, then isn't he more responsible to make those fights happen than they are?
Near as I can tell, the only thing to support in Gervonta Davis is cowardice and degeneracy, because he doesn't stand for nothing else.
He's just a fruity bum.
And that's what they like about him, that they suspect he's fruity, like they're fruity. Now it's time for another installment of what has fast become the most popular segment here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail!
You just knew, after my last upload, that Jerry Soriano was gonna stick his head out of the sand to say more dumb shit.
Here he comes defending David again. Responding to my previous video, Jerry said, I was wondering which way you would twist this once you realized that Opataya fight was imminent.
What do you mean imminent? He's not fighting Jai Opataya, he's fighting Mikhail Cieslak.
So saying that the Opataya fight is imminent would imply that he is about to fight him, when we all know he isn't. But Jerry continues, it gives me David Morrell flashbacks. So now your next Benavidez stopper is Usyk.
Why does this guy act like I picked somebody to stop David Benavidez and he fought them?
Is this supposed to be a gotcha moment? He continued, at least this time, you're getting ahead of your own narratives and not waiting for fight night as you're watching your latest king being destroyed. I apologize to your non-Spanish speaking fans. Probably a good thing that you didn't translate.
Translate what?
In summary, David Benavidez is scared of everybody. You should enjoy this like the Spence fight because this is exactly my sentiment. Crawford and Benavidez, the two firemen.
What the fuck does David have in common with Terrence?
They don't run from the smoke, they run to it. They both love beating up your favorite fighters. I promised you a slow-mo train wreck. Trust the process.
Trust the process? Which one of my favorite fighters did David Benavidez even fight? Which one of my favorite fighters did David Benavidez beat?
I told you, this fucking idiot is trying to have a gotcha moment.
He continued, you seem to get me and David Benavidez confused with his dad, Benavidez Sr., and his manager, Simpson. We have never said we didn't want to fight Opataya.
So after this, I'm going to get into what each one of those individual members of the same team said, name by name.
David told Opataya to his face, timing is everything. Get PBC and Simpson out of the way. Unless Opataya is planning to run, David is going to stop him in a very nasty manner.
You know what David said after his last fight? That Jai Opataya going to Zuffa makes the fight hard to do.
That's what David said. What David's dad said was that nobody knows Jai Opataya. He's got no marquee value.
As opposed to all the big marquee fighters that David normally fights. Like David Morrell.
That's what David's father said. What Simpson said was that Jai Opataya fight isn't going to happen for another 2 years. Following his most recent win over Zerto Ramirez, that's the time frame that Samson Lukowicz gave for the fight. And when I addressed it then, Jerry was complaining. So that all of a sudden, they've had a change of heart, and they don't want to wait for 2 years.
Because that is what they said. And when I address that change of heart, Jerry gets mad at that.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
He's a fucking idiot, that's what's wrong with him. He's writing this dribble, and in his own mind, he thinks he's saying something clever or witty, something charming. He thinks he appears as anything other than a fucking idiot to me and you.
What do you expect from a guy who the first thing he does when you let him on the panel, he starts filibustering and doing his best impersonation of a WWE superstar?
He's a fucking idiot. There's no reasoning with this guy, no rationale. He's gonna go with whatever version of a story David Benavidez and his team come out with, no matter how many times it changes, because May wasn't even that long ago. And in May, it was a member of his team who pushed the fight out to 2 years.
I didn't make that up. I'm not slandering him. I'm quoting members of his team verbatim.
And he's getting mad at me for it, pretending that he's somehow having a gotcha moment now when you were the one defending what they were saying before, and you're the one changing your tune now, because you would have been happy to wait 2 or 3 or however many years for them to get around to fighting that guy, where I'm the guy who's wanted that fight the whole time. My tune hasn't changed. You're pretending that you've proven me wrong about something.
Brought up David Morrell. I picked him to beat David Morrell, you fucking idiot.
And Anthony Yard, and Zerto Ramirez, and pretty much all the scrubs that he's been keeping busy with, because who did he fight that ever stood a chance? Caleb Plant, who already got knocked out by Canelo? Demetrius Andrade in his mid-30s?
Laboring with gatekeepers and new to the division?
We've already been all through those talking points in numerous videos and segments of the Ring IQ hate mail. What you really have to start to wonder is, what the fuck is wrong with Jerry?
Fucking idiot, that's what's wrong with him.
Any video where I mention David Benavidez or put him in the thumbnail, he crawls out of David's ass to give me a piece of his mind.
Yeah.
It's not even just me that expects it. By now, everybody in the comments section expects it. Religiously.
Yeah.
Sort of trying to gaslight everybody into thinking that he was right about something when I'm the one who told you that his light heavyweight campaign is going to come and go without a B-Vol fight and without a better B fight, because what he really plans on doing is moving up to cruiser and fighting Zerto. Isn't that what he did?
Isn't that what happened?
So then what the fuck is it, Jerry, that you were right about that I was wrong about? Even I said that David's going to have to bite the bullet at some point because there are not that many places to hide in the cruiserweight division.
Where you were happy to wait and entertain yourself with Mikhail Cieslak fights. That's where we differ.
And Mikhailian fights till Mikhailian left him high and dry.
That's where we differ. I don't feel the need to make excuses for David or give him the benefit of the doubt, where you always do, because you're a fucking idiot.